What's been happening here? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is mad because this is like my first proper video being off chemo and it feels so strange, me the most tired girl in the universe. I am very tired. In this video we are going to talk about positive mental attitude, which I think you guys are going to really like. Obviously I am not a professional in any kind of this kind of thing. It was actually really nice for me to like properly sit down and like try and work out how my own head works, which I think it's worked quite successfully. I asked my followers on my lymphoma blog, which I'll link the username here. I asked you guys if you had any questions about mindset or any tips for me about mindset, and no joke, there were so many responses. I cannot believe it, so thanks so much guys. I'm so excited to like answer them for you, so hopefully I can answer them in a good way, but not sure about that. But let's go guys, I'm so excited. Got my wee cuppa here. Had to write it down, you know. My mind works in mysterious ways, I must say. Okay, so I am quite a positive person. Like, I'm a glass half full kind of girl. Hopefully these tips that I'm going to say to you about my own mind, I hope that everyone can kind of relate to these on a level of any sort, like anything. In my opinion, there's always pros and cons of a situation. There's never ever anything 100% good, there's never anything 100% bad. I actually got a tattoo in Ibiza last year for the girls and it's a little yin and yang. I know some people think it's bad luck to get them tattooed on you, but hey ho, I've done it. And it's so perfect for me because I genuinely do believe there's always bad in the good, and I do believe there's always good in the bad. I have 5 tips on positive mental attitude for you. First one, set goals. Like, set a goal. This gives you something to aim towards, like no matter how big or small it is. If you're aiming towards something, you're getting there, you're getting through it. It keeps your brain focused, it keeps your brain in gear, it keeps your brain going. For example, when I went to uni, like, I love my course, I love my degree. Who like studying though? Because I certainly don't. All my goals were just to get to the next deadline. Like, I never thought that far ahead. I never really planned that far ahead. I would always just aim to the next deadline. And for me, if I know I have something done by a certain date, then I have enough time to like check the work over. All you need to do is get to this date, and then from that we'll take it from there. I like that quote, we'll take it from there. My diagnosis, of course. So for me, when I was lying in that hospital bed and I got told I had lymphoma, my thoughts weren't negative as such. All I was thinking was I need to get better. The goal in my diagnosis was just to get to the next chemo. But in turn, with more and more chemos, you do start to get better. Although you get side effects of the chemo, like you do get better. You need to celebrate the small victories in life. If you don't, there's nothing worth celebrating, is there really? You need to like be happy for yourself, think, yes, I just got through that shift, it was pure bad. Guys, start setting goals and I promise your life's going to change. Number 2 now. Now that chemo's done, I feel like I've not got a distinctive goal to go towards. So I'm starting to get anxious, I'm starting to overthink things, as I always do. I'm the biggest overthinker ever. So this one's about negative and worrying thoughts, okay? So what you're going to do is realise any time a negative or a worrying thought comes into your head. If I wanted to think about my health, let's do me, right? I want to think about my health and stuff. Every time a negative or a worrying thought comes into my head about my health, I am going to replace that with a positive one. More important to realise when you're having the negative and worrying thoughts than actually having the thoughts, if you get me. So if you can realise you're having these thoughts, that is amazing. That is the best thing, because you can change them into something positive. For example, when I went to uni, obviously you have to do an honours project presentation in my uni, and I'm the worst person at public speaking. But in my head, I knew if I nailed the presentation, I could get a good grade. I just thought, like, the people that I'm doing it in front of, they're all doing the same thing as me. Like, we're all in the same boat here. And that just kind of put it in perspective for me. And do you know what? I just went for it, and the outcome was that I got an A. That just goes to prove, like, if you turn your negative thoughts into positive ones, you're going to do better. Another one in the course of my full lymphoma, can't believe I need to go through chemotherapy. But this means, this is back at the start, this means in 6 months' time I am going to be me again. I am going to be healthier. And that keeps you going, that's momentum to keep on going. And that's the thing in life, like you need to like keep on going. Number 3 is social media. I'm really, really, really bad for this. I feel like everyone does this though, like especially if you're on social media, like everybody will get up on in another person's life and compare it to their own. However, you've got to remember people only put on social media what they want you to see. Right? Let me give, like, this pure makes sense in my head, but when I'm on my phone I just don't do the practice, right? So basically you're comparing yourself unrealistically to other people's lives. Think about when you put a picture on, right? You're never going to put a picture on, or for example if you're a girl, on your periods, like eating chocolate, binging on the couch, are you? No, obviously not. You're going to put like a nice picture up of you before you're going on a night out, where you've got your makeup done, your hair done and stuff. So like, and that's fine. That's what Instagram's for. It's about showcasing your best life and like showing the pictures that you want everyone to see, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love Instagram, but like you've also got to remember, like Instagram is a literal snippet of somebody's life, like a snippet. I think that it's quite a bad one in our society today, like a lot, especially like young girls and stuff. I'm not, obviously I can't speak for boys, I'm not a boy myself, but like a lot of people do that. They'll compare their lives to other people's and stuff, and it's just unrealistic. Like, it's unrealistic. I need to start doing this as well. Make a conscious effort to take yourself off of social media. I mean, you only go on for a few hours a day. I mean, it's good. Social media is amazing. Like, it can open up so many opportunities for people, and like you can like share your whole life there, and you can get support. Like for example, with my lymphoma, I've got support of people all around the UK, all around the world actually. You need to value yourself, and I need to remember this as well. I'm really bad for this. You need to remember there's only one of you in the whole universe. Like only one. That's it. One. You're it, and that's it. If you went onto my Instagram and we scrolled back to before March when I was diagnosed, you would never ever know that I was ill. Never. Because I didn't upload the pictures from where I look bad. If you look at other pictures I've got, you can tell that I'm ill, like I look ghastly. You seriously don't know what goes on in people's lives, and you cannot compare your own life to someone else's perfected life. Do you know what I mean? You guys will see me being so positive and stuff on my blog and on YouTube, and yeah, it keeps me going. Do you know what I mean? It gives me like such a good like boost. But I'm never going to like post a video when, for example, when I was losing my hair, I'm not going to post a video crying to my boyfriend. I think that's a really, really good and common one. Like, I feel like everybody can relate to that. Like, no matter your situation, like everybody can relate to it. Who doesn't go on social media and think, oh my god, that girl is so stunning? But she is stunning, but like you're stunning as well. Need to remember that. Number 4, acceptance. Acceptance. Oh. So life is really short, and you need to accept that bad things are going to happen. And to be honest, like I think I'm at that stage now where I know life is shit. Like life is so shit. And there's bits of life which are actually amazing, and like you cherish them, because in reality life isn't amazing. Like it's not amazing. There's good in every single day. Good in every single day. I'm not joking. When you start looking for it, you will find it, and I promise you that. I like this kind of analogy. So like imagine you're sitting on a landmine. A landmine. Under the landmine you have got resilience, confidence, less anxious, stuff like that. You literally sit on it, and in order to get all of those things, you need to stand up and you need to let the landmine blow up, and you need to catch all the different attributes like strength, resilience, happiness. You need to catch all these, and as soon as you start turning the negatives in your mind into positives, this is you literally standing up and allowing yourself to catch all these different attributes which maybe you had been sitting on before. For me, acceptance is just saying like it is what it is. You cannot change it. That was the way the universe wanted it to go for you. You're in charge of how you deal with situations. You're not in charge of the situation. But if you can stand up and you can get that confidence, that resilience, that strength to carry on, then that says more about your character than it does about the situation. Okay, 5 is the most important one and my favourite one ever. 5 is about self-care. People underestimate how amazing self-care is, right? When I was going through lockdown, obviously I couldn't leave the house. I was in the house all the time. If I just took a wee hour out and done a bath and a face mask and had a cup of tea, like I knew myself that I felt much better. To let your mind settle and like kind of reset your mind. It's something that you love to do for yourself and doing it when you feel like you need to do it kind of thing. Genuinely be anything from a hobby to going on a big long walk, going to the gym. For me at the minute, it's like just having a bath, doing my face mask, my hair mask, coming out doing all my skincare, put moisturiser on, putting clean jammies on, clean bedding, cup of tea, watching TV, watching YouTube, just switching off, and like that's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be anything else. It can literally be you lying in bed watching a movie. A cup of tea and your mum solves everything, don't they really? Like, let's be honest, like why will even beat around the bush? Like I mentioned in my first video, people were asking me like, how am I so positive and stuff like that. My answer was that I just got on with things, like there wasn't any other way. Like I pushed forward. I think I've gained resilience and stuff like this. Like I can take a hit, do you know what I mean? I can take a hit now, like I'm stronger than I was before. I'm not as emotional as I was, and I'm not saying being emotional is a bad thing, 'cause it's definitely not. I'm still an emotional person, but prepare for the worst and always hope for the best. You need to let your mind be a friendly place. Like don't be too hard on yourself. Things happen. I've made a million mistakes in my life, no joke. I'm not joking when I say about a million. Shit happens, you move on, you build from it, you don't let it happen again. That's all I'm going to say on that. Most important things I've learned from this full journey is the world doesn't bloody stop for anybody. No matter what happens, no matter how bad you think your life is, the world doesn't stop turning for anyone. So like literally just keep turning with it, keep moving on, don't let yourself get stuck in a rut. Right guys, let's jump through them again. 1. Set goals. 2. Negative and worrying thoughts, change them for positives. 3. Social media. Limit your time on that shit. 4. Acceptance. Accept that life is rubbish, but it's how you deal with things that matters. And 5 is self-care. And finally, the only quote that I want you to remember from this is the world doesn't stop turning for anybody. Keep moving on. Yay! Let's do the question and answer now, guys. I'm actually nervous. Thank you guys if you actually responded. Like I really do appreciate it. I'll put a wee picture of what I actually said here on my stories. So question 1. My question is, what has been the one thing that has kept you going? Probably my loved ones. Like just like seeing, I think what hit me the worst was like when I seen how upset everybody got when I told them. Like that proper got to me. The heartbreak, like I could hear it in their voices and stuff, and that's probably like the hardest, and that's what's like kept me going and kept me fighting. Like I've got something to fight for here. Like I've got my own life which impacts so many other people's lives. Like it is quite abundantly clear how loved I am and stuff like that. I can't thank my loved ones enough because they genuinely do make me feel like the most loved person in the whole world. This one is, I've started manifesting positive thoughts and do affirmations every morning. I love this one. I actually messaged the person who wrote this because I've been reading up on manifesting and positive affirmations and stuff, and it's a bit confusing to me. So they actually recommended this book. I'm actually going to buy it and start reading on it because I know a little bit about manifesting. But I love the idea of manifestation and positive affirmations. What's the most difficult thing you've had to deal with? Probably the thought of losing my hair. Like, no joke. That sounds like quite vain and stuff, but like I know for like everybody, like that would just seem like the end of the world. Like my looks don't define me, but it was the thought of like actually losing like what I looked like which really got to me. Keep busy or occupied. That's a good one. For example, I know if you're going through like a breakup or something like that, keeping busy is probably the best thing you can do for yourself. Getting stressed trying to fit everything in. When I was going through uni, I found it really hard to manage my time to make sure that I studied everything before the exam. So I would literally like make an Excel table, and I would put everything in it that I needed to study, and I would literally like count it back the number of weeks that I'd need to go, and like fit all my studying in around like my work schedule or whatever, and then from that I could plan when I'm going to see people. So I would definitely say that like use Excel, because you can use like the tabs at the bottom to like make a new spreadsheet, and that would be like my new weeks. Try and organise your time wisely. One of my friends actually just messaged me today actually saying about the Google Calendar or something, so you can put literally everything in it and it's got like time slots and stuff like that. I think it's a bit better than your Apple Calendar, so I actually might give that a shot. This was it. So it's kind of like that, like blocks of colour. Do you open up enough about how you feel to others, or do I bottle it up? I'm really open. I really can't hide my feelings. Like, if I'm not having a great time, I can't really hide it. Oh, I like this one. I'm really, really, really good at this. Buy yourself gifts. Treat yourself. Oh, 100%. You so need to do that, guys. Like, you need to reward yourself. Like, you need to reward yourself. That's all I'm going to say. Reward yourself, whether that's with a takeaway, buying yourself some clothes, buying yourself some makeup, buying yourself some jewellery, buying a wee candle. For me it was doing my room up. Like, get out there, guys, and treat yourself. Next one, have you always been a positive thinker, or did you have to teach yourself to become one? That is such a good question. I think I always have been positive. Like, I've always been a glass half full kind of thing. But I do believe you can teach yourself to be positive. I've always been a positive person, but it's been harder to organise and structure my mind and my thoughts into what I have today kind of thing. And I think going through lymphoma and stuff, it's kind of forced me to regulate my thoughts. I think I've taught myself how to embrace my positivity and bring it out a bit more. But I do believe you can teach yourself to be anything that you want. Obviously, like, a positive person would be amazing to teach yourself that if you feel that you aren't that positive. And there's definitely steps. Like, see if you've done those 5 steps that I've mentioned to you, your life, I promise you, it'll become a million times more positive. Do you have any tips on how to turn negative ones into positive ones? Well, I hope I've actually, like, answered, like, some of your questions, but, like, I'll just go over it quickly again. Like, just generally, you can change any negative thought into something positive. For example, when this candle runs out, I'm going to be so sad because I love this candle. But on the bright side, I can order a new one and try a new fragrance. There you go. Just made that into a positive one. Sometimes I know it's hard to think of a positive in a situation. Trust me, I know that. Like, I've been there. Do you think your mindset would have been different if COVID not happened? That's a really good one, actually. Yeah, truthfully, I do think it would have been different because obviously no one was allowed out at the start. So, like, none of the girls were getting together. My boyfriend wasn't going out with his pals, or, like, our pals. I wasn't missing out on much. I still am missing out on much, to be honest. COVID as well, like, obviously I had to stay in. Like, I didn't have much leeway. Like, it wasn't a choice. Like, I had to stay in. In a way, it did make things a bit easier. The only hard bit was obviously the emotional side of it. Not being able to tell my family, my friends, my boyfriend for months. I do think because of COVID it's made it better for me personally, because it's, like, less risk of infection for me. Less risk of, like, just, like, catching a cold. Like, which can be fatal. So, how do you cope with any worries do you have? Do you block them out, or how do you get through them? I think I've probably answered this question in my video, but it's genuine. Now I've learned over the past few months, like, you genuinely need to turn your negative thoughts into positive ones. There's no other way through it. Keep pushing on. Better days are always coming. When you're feeling stressed or worried, what is your thing to go to that calms you down the most? Not even joking, like, genuinely my pet, like, cat. Like, I love her so much, Tess. Like, and do you know that way, like, I genuinely believe that pets know when you're upset. I used to come in from chemo and stuff, like, me mum always said, like, I think that she could smell it because she was on me like a rash. Has there ever been a time you have struggled to be positive, and how did you get through this? Yeah, 1,000,000%. Before I was diagnosed, I was so miserable. I can't even tell you. Like, to be honest, I didn't get through it. I was just lucky enough that my doctors in the hospital found out what was wrong with me, and I was able to get better. But I did genuinely believe it was all in my head. Like, getting better and, like, getting chemo, that was my kind of therapy. That was my way of getting better. I got back to myself as soon as I got my first chemo. I was a bit more energetic and stuff. I needed the chemo basically to make me better. That was, like, the downest I've ever been. Like, I proper didn't know if it was because I didn't know what was up. Like, it proper got to me. I lost my son was the hardest thing I've ever been through, but I had a young daughter and I knew I had to be positive for her, and then I had another beautiful baby girl. That is just genuinely amazing. Like, that totally, like, humbles you, doesn't it? Because it makes you realise, like, the emotional side of the human body and stuff. Like, it can genuinely do anything, and, like, that just shows, like, how strong somebody can be to get through something like that. Life can be so shit, but on the other hand, like, there's so many more optimistic and possible opportunities for you out there, and it's just like, it's like, as much as losing the person's son is obviously, like, devastating, it's so nice that the person has actually found a way to be positive and a reason to be positive, because there is always a reason to be positive in life. And that just really, it really, like, tugs on my heartstrings a bit. Someone's wrote now, law of attraction 100% the best thing I've done. Really, really want to do this. I think it's a bit like manifestation, so it'll probably be in that book that I mentioned before, but love the law of attraction. I think that's a good one, by the way. I think I might do a video when I know a bit more about manifestation, law of attraction, and what's the other thing? Positive affirmations. I'm going to do that. Last question, guys. So it says, do you have a wee quote you like to refer to, and also you should be so proud of yourself? That is so nice. Thank you so much to the person who wrote this. So definitely know who they are. I'm a very quotey girl. I love a good quote. What I said before was obviously the world doesn't stop for anybody, the world keeps turning. I like the thought of that. The problem I want to live by is devil's everything happens for a reason. Like, I believe in fate so much. Fate has genuinely shaped my life so far. If you have watched this video, thank you so much, and I genuinely hope it has answered some people's questions when they ask me like how am I so positive and stuff like that. I hope that you can understand why I'm so positive and how I get through with my thoughts. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you could like, subscribe and comment on this video. If you've liked it, please give it a wee thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. And yeah, I'm just, thank you so much for watching, and also for all the well wishes. It really doesn't go unnoticed, guys, and all the good vibes I know everyone's sending out to me. We move with the world as the world doesn't stop turning. So thanks everyone, be positive, and I'm sending loads of love to everybody. Bye!